In the first week of his attending salary, Dr. Daniel Park received a call from a financial advisor. The advisor had been referred by a colleague. He seemed knowledgeable. He understood medicine. He knew what residents go through. He recommended a whole life insurance policy. He explained it carefully: permanent coverage, tax advantage growth, a cash value component that builds over time. It sounded sophisticated. It sounded like exactly what a high-income professional should own. Daniel signed. $24,000 a year in premiums. What the advisor didn't mention was the commission he earned on that policy, approximately $19,000, in a single meeting. Today we're going to talk about what whole life insurance actually is, who it actually benefits, and what the math looks like when you run it honestly. Whole life insurance is one of the most aggressively sold financial products in America, and physicians are among its most targeted buyers. Why physicians specifically? 3 reasons. First, income. A new attending physician suddenly has significant cash flow after years of near poverty in residency. That cash needs somewhere to go, and advisors know it. Second, trust. Physicians are trained to defer to specialists. When someone speaks with authority about finance, a physician's instinct is often to trust the expertise, the same way a patient trusts a doctor. Third, time. A physician in their first attending year is overwhelmed. New job, new responsibilities, student loans, possibly a new home, possibly a growing family. They do not have hours to research financial products. The advisor knows this too. The result? More whole life insurance policies are sold to physicians in their first 2 years of attending practice than at almost any other career stage. And most of those physicians, when they finally understand what they own, wish they had asked one question before they signed. Let's understand what whole life insurance actually is. All life insurance starts with one function. If you die, your beneficiaries receive a payout. That's the death benefit. Term life insurance does exactly this, and nothing else. You pay a premium for a defined period. If you die during that period, the benefit pays. If you don't, the policy ends. Simple, cheap. Whole life insurance adds a second component: cash value. A portion of your premium goes into an account that grows over time at a guaranteed rate, typically 2 to 4%. You can borrow against this cash value. You can eventually surrender the policy and take the cash. This sounds like an investment. The advisor presents it as an investment. It is not an investment. Here's why. The internal rate of return on a whole life policy, the actual annual return on the money you put in, typically runs between 1 and 3% over the life of the policy. For the first 10 to 15 years, the cash value grows extremely slowly because the bulk of early premiums go toward the insurance company's costs and, critically, the agent's commission. That commission is the number that changes everything. A whole life policy commission is typically 50 to 100% of the first year's premium. On a $24,000 annual premium, the agent earns $12,000 to $24,000 in year 1 alone, plus smaller trailing commissions in subsequent years. A term life policy with the same death benefit might cost $1,200 a year. The commission on that policy? $600. Same protection. $19,000 difference in what the advisor earns. That difference is why whole life gets recommended. Let's run the actual math. 2 physicians, both 33 years old. Both want $2 million in life insurance coverage. Physician A buys whole life. Premium, $24,000 a year. After 20 years, cash value, approximately $280,000. Death benefit, $2 million. Physician B buys a 20-year term policy. Same $2 million death benefit. Premium, $1,400 a year. He takes the $22,600 annual difference and invests it in a diversified index fund at a 7% average annual return. After 20 years, Physician B's investment account holds approximately $980,000. Same protection, same 20-year window, $700,000 difference in wealth. Now here's what the whole life advisor will tell you. They'll say, but the cash value grows tax-advantaged. True, but so does a Roth IRA, a 401k, and a backdoor Roth, all of which have higher returns and lower costs. They'll say, you can borrow against the cash value. True, but you're borrowing your own money and paying interest on it. They'll say, it's permanent coverage. You'll never be uninsurable. Also true, but by the time most physicians reach the age where term coverage expires, their children are grown and their net worth is large enough that life insurance becomes less necessary, not more. None of these arguments change the core math. Whole life insurance is an expensive way to get insurance and a poor way to invest. There is one narrow situation where whole life has legitimate use: very high net worth estate planning, where the death benefit is used to pay estate taxes and preserve wealth across generations. That is a specific, sophisticated strategy. It is not what gets sold to a 33-year-old attending in their first week of practice. The product being sold to new physicians is not an estate planning tool. It's a commission vehicle dressed in the language of financial sophistication. Here is what to do. Step 1. Find your policy. If you own a whole life, universal life, or variable life policy, pull it out. Find 3 numbers: your annual premium, your current cash value, and your death benefit. Then ask, what would a 20-year term policy with the same death benefit cost me today? The difference between those two premiums, invested at 7%, is your opportunity cost. Step 2. Don't cancel immediately. Surrendering a whole life policy in the first 10 years often triggers surrender charges and tax consequences. Before you do anything, understand the surrender value and any tax implications. This requires a conversation with a fee-only financial advisor, not the person who sold you the policy. Step 3. If you don't yet own whole life, don't buy it. Buy term. A healthy physician in their 30s can get $2 million in 20-year term coverage for under $1,500 a year. That's the coverage. Invest the rest. Step 4. Evaluate the advisor relationship. If your current financial advisor sold you whole life insurance, ask yourself, what else have they recommended that benefits them more than it benefits you? An advisor who earns commissions on products has a structural conflict of interest. A fee-only fiduciary does not. The question isn't whether your advisor is a bad person. The question is whether the system they operate in aligns their incentives with yours. In the commission-based model, it often doesn't. Daniel Park surrendered his whole life policy in year 9. He paid surrender charges. He owed taxes on the gain. The process cost him money. But the alternative was paying $24,000 a year for another 30 years into a product that would never outperform what he could have done with that money himself. Sometimes the least bad option is still a bad option. The goal is to make that decision with full information, not 11 years after the fact. Next video: why your financial advisor may be recommending products that pay them, and how to find one who doesn't. Subscribe. Every video on this channel is a financial gap that nobody explained when it mattered. I'll see you in the next one.